Hello, fantastic fellow Earthlings. Welcome to the Dispatch. My name is Brady Rose. We are going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about Ilhan Omar's newest comments about Notre Dame and how I don't understand how this is controversial at all. Even the stuff that y'all aren't having to make up. We're also going to talk about Sri Lanka. We're going to talk about Salafism. We're going to do a couple of things that I like as well today. So, let's start. There we go. So y'all, why are we making stuff up at this point, y'all? Why are we doing this? Why, with so many things that we can't attack her on? Because I was just going after her on the last episode, and now I'm going to have to come back and defend her, which irks me a little bit. But yeah, apparently some of y'all bozos were sharing around a tweet, or a claim of a tweet, where she said that the Parisians were reaping what they sowed. And there is no evidence of this being done. So let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. It did not happen. It did not happen. And the fact that people are having to make stuff up at this point is kind of sad, because you don't have to make up anything to go after Ilhan Omar. You don't have to make up anything. But other than that, with what she actually said, because people are finding this controversial as well. I wish I had actually pulled it up. But she said something along the lines of Notre Dame being a beautiful piece of art and architecture and a symbol of those things in European history, and called it a marvel. And people lost their minds over this, saying, well, it's not like it's a museum of art and architecture, it's also a church. You think Ilhan Omar doesn't know that Notre Dame Cathedral is a cathedral and a church? Like, y'all really think that she doesn't know that? But everybody lost their minds over this stuff, and it kind of bothers me that I'm having to come back and defend her now over some stupid stuff, because y'all actually made stuff up and radically misinterpreted things that she actually said to go after her on this. And it doesn't make sense, because if I had said the exact same thing that Ilhan Omar said, what she actually said about Notre Dame and the fire, y'all wouldn't say a word about it. Y'all would not say a word about it. If Donald Trump had said it, y'all wouldn't say a word about it. If Mike Pence had said it, y'all wouldn't say a word about it. Ben Shapiro said pretty close to the same thing. And then he turned around and attacked Ilhan Omar over saying it too. And we got to be better than this, y'all. We really got to be better than this. I know that this is the second episode in a row that I've had to say right wing got to be better than this, but right wing got to be better than this. Really do. Okay, so now that we've addressed that, let's go ahead and talk about Sri Lanka for a minute. Apparently, the death toll in Sri Lanka has been lowered by 100, meaning it did stand at 359. It actually stands at 253. So they had to reduce the death toll for it. That does not reduce how bad this was at all. I mean, still 253 dead. Like, what on earth? And people are talking about how these guys had gone crazy. The family's talking about how they went crazy, and I'm really disturbed by the fact that nobody in the media can call the victims Christians. Like, they're Christians. They're not Easter worshipers. They're Christians. It happened in churches. It's not like these guys went to a pagan festival and started killing the worshipers of Oster. No, they went in churches and killed Christians because they were worshiping on Easter. But that doesn't make them Easter worshipers. Like, why is it so hard to just call them Christians? Like, why is that a bad word now? Why is Christian a bad word now? Someone please answer this question for me. Nothing. But for some reason, Christian is a bad word now. And people are talking about how these guys went crazy, and I honestly believe it, because you kind of have to be crazy to be a Salafist. You kind of have to be a psychopath to be a mass murderer. Apparently that's not obvious. But I wanted to take this this opportunity because they blame this on Christchurch, and Ben said something the other day about how there's no way that since Christchurch, 35 days between Christchurch and Sri Lanka, that these guys could have come up with this attack. But if he really believes that, then I don't understand why he thinks that terrorism is a problem at all. Like, if you are so incapable of operations that you can't get 8 guys to put on vests that y'all already have because you're already terrorists, you can't get 8 guys to do that in 35 days, then are you even a terror organization? Like, I'm failing to understand Ben's logic on this. I really am. Obviously, they were able in 35 days to strap bombs to 8 people and attack churches. At the very least, they blamed it on Christchurch. That's not an excuse. That is not an excuse. No. See, the problem with this tit-for-tat ideology, I'm actually addressing Muslims in this one. The problem with this tit-for-tat ideology is that it's going to get all of us killed in the end. It's going to get all of us killed. Like, our book says it, their book says it, everybody's book says it, that if we keep going tit for tat until the end of time, we're going to end up destroying all of ourselves. Nobody wants to heed that warning, but it's probably going to happen. It's probably going to happen. And the issue with Salafism is that you do have to be psychotic to join Salafism. There's no way you can be a sane and rational human being and still do this stuff right here on a daily basis. There's no way that you can be a sane and rational human being and kill 253 people. There's no way to be a sane and rational human being and put a bomb on yourself that you're going to blow up. You have to be a psychotic person. And again, that's not an excuse either. That's not an excuse. If you are a crazy person, and I'm talking to anybody who's on those, like, the extremist fringes, like the violent fringes, because I am a fringe person, sure, but I also adhere to the non-aggression principle. I don't believe in violence unless someone has brought violence to me, which, by the way, y'all, is a Muslim ideology. We're supposed to follow that. We're not supposed to kill any member of the book who does not raise a weapon against us first. Any of them. So unless, like, if you want to go kill the guy who actually shot the people in Christchurch, go for it. I don't care. You might piss off the Australians or the Kiwis, but I don't care. You want to go to that prison and murder that dude, go right ahead. I don't care. But you can't go into a church and kill innocent people in response to someone else killing innocent people. Like, that's forbidden in the book. You need to read the book, especially if you're going to be doing this stuff in the name of the book. You know what I'm saying? But there's a major issue in current mainstream Islamic culture is this idea of Salafism. And I am personally tired of being told that I'm a bad Muslim because I call out Salafists. That don't make any sense. But it also happens to Majid Nawaz, who, if you don't know who he is, here is his wiki. This fella right here, he is also a Muslim, and he is also a critic of Salafism. Me and him actually have disagreements. I'm actually slightly more fundamental than he is, which is kind of amazing. But we both agree that people who are, like, so fundamentalist that they are deranged and ready to murder people are a problem, and a growing problem. Thanks to Saudi influence around the world, it has become a global problem, and it would probably be better. Now I'm actually back not just talking to Muslims, I'm talking to everybody, especially people here in the West, but everybody. the more you shame people for wanting to have this conversation about their own culture, the worse this problem is going to be, until the wolves are at your gate and you can do nothing about it. And this guy, Majid, gets drugged all the time for what he believes. All the time. He's a Muslim who actually doesn't believe in hijab in any circumstance. He doesn't even think that that if a woman wants to wear a hijab, that she should. He's very hardcore about that being a symbol of oppression. And I can see where he's coming from with that. Me and him just have a disagreement, because if I believe if a woman wants to wear a hijab, she should wear a hijab. Like, whatever. Like, you want to wear that, go ahead and wear it, because there are non-oppressive purposes and context for the hijab. But like I said, me and him have our disagreements. He gets drugged through the mud all the time, as being anti-Muslim and Islamophobe. Brother, he is Muslim. This dude right here is Islamic, and you're over here saying that he's an Islamophobe because he is actually willing to talk about Salafism, which is not Islamic. It's not Islamic. You cannot go into a church and kill hundreds of innocent people. That is non-Islamic. That is Salafic. And we cannot have that conversation in our own community. And we definitely can't have this conversation in the Western community, because people on the left are so far willing to defend apparently Salafists, not actually Muslims, not even Islamic Muslims. They are so prepared to defend Salafists that they will drag Majid Nawaz through the mud, and people tell me that I'm a bad Muslim for saying this stuff too. And what sense does that make? Like, can anyone come to a conclusion other than the fact that they're actively defending Salafists at this point? Which, by the way, I need to fix something right quick, because I just now noticed it. There we go. But no, when the media is out there making apologetics for these attacks, after these attacks, I understand it sucks for every Muslim to be asked about it whenever this stuff happens. But I would rather be asked about it than not asked about it. Like, if you're gonna have that feeling that it's all Muslims' fault when one of these attacks happen, I would rather you talk to me about it. Let me explain to you that I don't agree with this stuff at all, and how this stuff is not Islamic, and how these are not Muslims who are carrying out these attacks, because they're not. They don't follow their own book. It should never get to a situation where people like me or people like Majid, and I'm not even comparing how much we've gone through them. He's a much bigger figure. I'm nobody. I'm just a dude with a webcam. But there's no reason for him to be dragged through the mud and told that he isn't Muslim and that he's an Islamophobe when he is actually following his Quran. And he is being told that because he is calling out people who are not following the Quran and pretending to be Muslim when they're not. We are in a really weird place in America with the way that we are covering news, covering culture, and covering especially radicalism. There's no excuse for this stuff, none whatsoever. And God, what else is there even to say other than I really, 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 really wish that the United States would do something about its partnership with Saudi Arabia and put an end to this, because the bulk of this problem is being caused by us subsidizing the Saudi Department of Education, which is pumping out Salafist propaganda, mass amounts of Salafist propaganda, and shipping it all over the world to every madrasa that they can. And like, that's, I wish I'd pull that article up too. but yeah, they are shipping this propaganda all over the world. It was part of the reason why Oceania has fallen apart recently. Malaysia, the South Asian islands, largely because Saudi propaganda was being pumped into their madrasas and taught in their mosques, and until the United States decides that we are going to do something about our partnership with Saudi Arabia, when we acknowledge the 28 pages and all the damning evidence that came out in that document against the Saudi government and the Saudi mission, when we finally acknowledge that and do something, all of this will stop. This will stop. But right now, we're actually paying for it to happen. And I don't really know where this insanity ends other than the East and the West destroying each other in war. Which is, it seems, what everyone's kind of working toward. And I don't know if, I feel like I shouldn't have to actually say this, but that's a really bad idea. It's a really bad idea to pit 2.2 billion Christians against 2.2 billion Muslims in an all-out war, which really seems to be what people are pushing toward. Especially these Salafists and the neo-Nazi and neo-fascists in the West. They are dragging everyone else in their cultures into this fight. And the entire time, instead of covering it honestly and talking about this very, very real issue, the media is just putting out apologetics and nothing is being done. It's got to stop. And that's where I'm talking to other Muslims. This got to stop. It has to stop. It's our community, it's our culture. They call themselves Muslim. So the onus is kind of on us. In the same way that the onus is on Western Christians to do something about Nazi-Christians, it is also our duty as Muslims to do something about the Salafists. We actually do owe that debt in the exact same way that the Christians owe the debt on the people that they have. It is not okay to condone this stuff. It is not okay to participate in this violence. It is not okay in any way, shape, or form. And we as a community are going to have to put our foot down, because no one else outside of the community is willing to have an honest conversation about this problem. It's gonna have to be us. It's gonna have to be us. Okay, so that's all of the news I'm talking about, because this stuff has me depressed, very, very depressed. I have nothing but love for the Christians. I have nothing but love for the Christians, and God be with these people, with these families and these lost souls. Stuff has to stop. Okay, we are going to try to do something a little bit more positive now. We're going to talk about a pleasant surprise that I found out about yesterday, which is that Graham Hancock has a new book out. Graham Hancock has a new book out. It's called America Before, and it's about how possibly the New World is the origin of modern civilization, or possibly even ancient civilization. I want this book. And there is a special edition that you can get with Barnes & Noble, that little link right there, that link. If you click on it and you order it through Barnes & Noble, you will get an extra chapter in the book. An extra chapter in the book. He wrote an extra special chapter for the Barnes & Noble edition, so definitely pick that up. That's probably the edition that I'm going to pick up, because I'm definitely getting this. I'm definitely getting this book. Also, check out Ben Shapiro's Right Side of History. But definitely also check out Graham Hancock's America Before, Barnes & Noble Special Edition with the extra chapter, because this book is going to be good. This is going to be a good one. We're going to close this out, talk about solar activity, space weather. As you can see, we have a very calm star in front of us. There are no sunspots. We do not have solar flaring. We have scattered coronal holes on the center of the disk. We have building coronal holes on the poles, which is just another indicator that we are in solar minimum, or a stage of solar minimum. We have pretty safe disk with mass ejections. It is a quiet sun. It is a quiet sun, and a quiet sun is a good sun. We have low solar protons. Solar wind has been low today, so we are having fantastic space weather. I think that is it for me today. And y'all, I love you. I wish that we had a better world to share, but we have what we have. We're stuck with it. We gotta fix it. So let's go ahead and start fixing it. I'm gonna start working on that tomorrow. So y'all have a fantastic day, fantastic night, depending on your specific geolocation on this beautiful planet that we all share. Check out twitch.tv/moonmuffin. I'm going to be doing cooking streams on there soon. Head over to the YouTube channel. Give me a subscribe. Give me a thumbs up on this video as well. Head over to our Facebook page on Damari Nolo Dispatch, because we not only post the videos and clips from these videos on there, we also do a whole lot of meme farming. So definitely come over, check out the good memes. Dank meme stash, definitely over at the Marinolo Dispatch. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for checking us out. I appreciate any viewers, any interaction. I am glad to hear from anybody who just wants to talk about a subject. I am open to crossing the aisle, having people from the left on here to talk about politics. I would also like to have some people on here to talk about ancient civilization, human history, and philosophy, the implications of our decisions and perceptions. But that'll be for another day. Until then, I love you. Have a fantastic night, and I'll see you later.